Nailed it. Good job. Good work.
This gentleman from New York City, give him a warm welcome to Chip Foley. Thank you very much. How you doing? So I guess this is what happens when the interior decorator quits halfway through the job. So I live in New York City, in one of the most dangerous neighborhoods. People are dying all the time. I live on Wall Street. When I walk out of my apartment building in the morning, I look up first. Another investment banker hits the ground.
So that used to be me. I was the fun guy. From dive bars to fine restaurants, I was out 7 nights a week with a gin and tonic in my hand. I was the best guy to go out with for guys' night out. Most of the nights, some of the nights actually ended up like the movie The Hangover. So as a kid, I was always competitive, always looking for a challenge. So I'm at a dinner at a regular night out. I'm at the Breslin. We just ordered a 20-pound pig roast. I'm about 3 cocktails in. I'm talking to my friend Andrew Katz. Now, he showed me the race results and pictures from a triathlon. Now, Andrew was a little overweight guy. He was the fun guy as well, a little out of shape. But he just completed a triathlon, so it made me curious. So a triathlon is a multi-sport event consisting of swimming, biking, and running. So, sorry about that. Consisting of swimming, biking, and running. So I wanted to be happy for Andrew, but all I could think of was I could do this. So I get home that night, sitting on my couch, my legs are up, my laptop on my lap, I'm watching TV. And then I decide just to do it. I sign up for the New York City Triathlon without any experience in swimming, biking, or running. So now I got to join a gym. So of course I joined the biggest and best gym I could find. I went to Chelsea Piers on the west side of Manhattan. So they have a triathlon team that were 4-year national champions. And the best part about it is, this is my coach, Viper, from the 80s TV show American Gladiators, believe it or not. So the following Monday, training starts at 5:30 in the morning. Now the hardest part about the training was not the swimming, biking, or running. It was waking up at 5 in the morning. That's what time I used to get in. So it took me a little while. I had, outside the team training, I had to basically take swim lessons just to keep my head above the water. So over the next several weeks, my biking progressed, my running got better, and my swim was just enough that I knew I could make it through the race. So I remember my phone rings race morning at 4:30 in the morning. It's my friend Andrew. He's screaming on the phone. He's like, "Are you ready?" I'm like, "I'm still sleeping right now." So I jump in a taxi, head up to 72nd Street. I'm anxious, I'm nervous, I'm excited. A few thoughts go through my head, like, I should have tried my wetsuit on first. And then it's like, is it even safe to swim in the Hudson? So at 6 in the morning, the race gun goes off. I jump in the water. And before I know it, I'm swimming. I swim 10 strokes. I look up. I couldn't believe how far 1 mile was to swim. I swim 10 more strokes. I look up just to make sure I'm still going straight. And then I look to my right. There's a guy floating on his back next to me. You see what happens in the Hudson, the current is so strong, it actually takes you down there. It gave me some little comfort level that knowing that I could finish the race. So as I could see the barge, the finishing barge in the distance. Now the one thing they tell you is don't put your feet down in the Hudson. So immediately I put my feet down in the Hudson. I get sludge up to my knees. So I get out, I gotta clean the sludge off my legs and the shit off my face, and then I gotta get on the bike. So I spend the next 26 miles on the bike just thinking about what I just stepped in and whether or not it's gonna kill me. So now I'm on to the run. And I thought it's only a 10K. It's only 6.2 miles. I've done this before. What I didn't anticipate was how tired my legs would be from the swimming and the biking, let alone the heat and humidity of 90 degrees in New York City. So I remember on the run, not only did the skinny guy pass me, but the fat guy and the old guy passed me too. So as I'm approaching the finish line, I knew there was room for improvement. I knew I could do better. So I crossed the finish line. I was completely exhausted. I ran to the meeting place at the band show and just laid there for an hour. My friend Andrew comes up holding his 3 kids in his hand. And he just looks at me. He said, "Was that fun? Are you ready to do it again?" And I thought, of course. So I get home that night, immediately sign up for the next race, the Mighty Hamptons Triathlon. It's 4 weeks away. I knew I had 4 weeks. I could train better, work harder. So I focused on my run, and believe it or not, I know it sounds simple, but the more you run, the better you get. So I was running 4 and 5 times a week, and I was able to increase my pace from a 9-minute mile to a 7-minute mile pretty quickly. And for the swim, it was about a comfort level for me. So I drove out to Sag Harbor. I would just swim back and forth in Noyak Bay until I felt comfortable. So at 4:30 in the morning, race morning, I wake up to barking dogs. This time, I call my friend Andrew, and I said, "Are you ready?" He's like, "Yeah, whatever." So 6 a.m., the gun goes off. I jump in the water, and before I know it, the swim was done. I felt so comfortable. The same thing with the bike. You know, I got on the bike. I pushed as hard as I can. I don't remember anyone passing me, and I got onto the run. This time, I passed the old guy and the fat guy. All right, the skinny guy still passed me on that one, but that's fine. So as I'm approaching the finish line, I see my friend Andrew about a half mile ahead of me. I was a little bit disappointed that he was going to beat me again. But then I thought, at least my time's going to be better. So as I crossed the finish line, he was standing there. He's like, "Hey, by the way, I just finished first in my division." So I was happy for him. But I was like, we got to stay around for the awards ceremony, and I just wanted to get out of there. So he goes in. They announce his division. They announce his award. He gets first place. We're standing around congratulating him. And then they announce my division. And then I hear Chip Foley. And I was more surprised than anyone. I got 3rd place in my division. So, so that was 2 years ago. Now I'm 34 years old. Now I have a trophy wall with my own trophies, including a 3rd place from this year's New York City Triathlon. You know, I used to be the guy coming out of the bars and clubs at 6 in the morning. Now I'm on my bike on the Hudson River, passing those people, shaking my head, just thinking, that used to be me. Thank you, guys. Synergy.